Live from the City of Angels, it's an afternoon edition of MMT as we get ready to talk about Inside Out 2. The reactions are in, and no surprise, they're largely positive. Remember, whenever we do one of these reaction streams, it's typically after the world premiere, after the very first screening of something. And remember, if you get invited to the world premiere, or the first ever screening, which is essentially the world premiere, you, part and parcel with your attendance, is the understanding that you're going to come out of the film and accentuate the positives. So as we go through these reactions here today, this afternoon, thanks for joining MMT. If you want to comment, go to the YouTube channel. If you're watching on Twitter, if you're cool Twitter watching on X, go for it. But if you want to comment, go to YouTube, Midnight Movie Talk, check it, and then you can comment away. But remember, if you go to these things, you come out and you trash them, they're not going to invite you again. So what we're looking for here is overwhelming positivity, which I'm sure we're going to find. Also, you're going to look for accentuating positives. So even if the film is underwhelming, you're going to find the one thing that's good and focus on that element. So as we go through this, keep that in mind. Trust me, as someone who has been to a world premiere and stepped no more than 5 feet outside the theater saying, this is the worst film of a director's career, it's not good. You won't get invited again. But that's why we don't go to these things, because I'm not playing that game. I will never play that game. Thanks for being here. Here we go. Inside Out 2. Reactions are in, and away we go. Nicola Austin. I don't know some of these critics. And let's be, again, one more thing that we need to point out before we go through this. A lot of these critics are shills, okay? Don't forget that. That's the reality of it. No one ever calls me a shill. You know why they don't? Because I'm not a shill. You don't get accused of something you have nothing to do with, right? So these people, if I don't know them, I can't vouch for them. There might be a few I can, but there's not a lot. As you guys know, if you watch MMT, you know that there's only like 4 approved critics via the Midnight Movie Talk channel. I'm one of them, so there's 3 others. Because there's not a lot of talented people, there's not a lot of fearless people, and there's very few non-shills. They're all worried about, can I get invited again to the next event? I don't want to miss that. That would suck. I can't be the first one there and say, look, I was at the premiere. Look at all the swag I got. All right. I think that's a really nice, laid it all out for you before we get into this, because we need to make these things apparent to you so you understand how this whole system works. Back to Nicola. Inside Out 2 is such a joy. By the way, please allow me to try to infuse as much emotion into reading this. First time reading this. This is a cold read. Whenever we do this, it's live. We're not like these other YouTubers who go in and cut and edit and edit and edit. No, this shit's live at 3:08 in the afternoon here in Los Angeles. That's how we roll. While it doesn't quite pack as much of an emotional punch, it's still an incredibly creative, wonderfully animated, and thought-provoking outing with plenty of fun moments for the whole family. Hawk nails anxiety, and Pouchy and nostalgia steal the show. That's Nicola Austin with a pretty positive review, but you notice how she said it doesn't quite live up to the original? Well, okay, let's just keep that in the back of the mind. Let's go ahead and look at a few more. Tom Beasley, sort of blown away by how much I loved Inside Out 2. Spent the last 20 minutes quietly weeping into my bright green mocktail. Remember, he's at the party. You see, I don't even know who Tom is. Whoever the Tom is. Listen, he's at the party right now over in London. He can't come out and say it's terrible. I'm going to trust Tom for the time being. But until he gets really looked at under the microscope here on MMT, I can't vouch for him. But he is crying into his, again, bright green mocktail over in London. A lot of these reactions coming from the London screening. I think there were some, obviously, last night here in Hollywood. I went by there earlier today, and they were just dismantling the gigantic, I mean, it looked like a carnival out there. When Disney does one of these world premieres, they bring all kinds of shit in, tents and gigantic murals and billboards. and it was last night. I'm looking for our favorite shill boy. I can't find Eric Davis's reaction. If one of you knows where it is, hit me up either on DM on Twitter, or you can hit me in the comments here on YouTube. I'll get to it. I want to see if he says, you must see this on the biggest screen possible because he works for Fandango and he sells movie tickets. If you've never watched MMT, you're like, this guy is out of control. Well, welcome to the channel. This is what we do. Nothing changes. I don't care if it's 3 in the afternoon or 3 in the morning if you're watching somewhere. All right, here's Kelechi Ehenyo. I'm sure I butchered it. Sorry, that's not even a reaction. She's just showing off all her swag. Look, here we go. There's the thing. Here's some swag. There's me with the pictures. There's me with a bag. There's me with the bag. So that's what happens at these things. Okay, Daniel Baptista, the movie podcast. That's a very, I'm telling you, original name right there. What do you have? I have a show called The Movie Podcast. I mean, listen, our channel's Midnight Movie Talk, which I get, but at least it's a little better than, what show do you do? Well, I do a show called The Movie Podcast. Holy shit, that's a great title. How did you come up with that? Inside Out 2 is absolutely delightful and one of the most powerful Pixar films ever made. Jesus. That's just full wattage right there, isn't it? A beautifully crafted and emotionally mature sequel that stands side by side with the original. Well, I'd hope so. It's the sequel. Maya Hawke is unforgettable as Anxiety and steals the show. A must-watch for all ages. So there's your perfect, right? Hey, Disney, did I appease you by saying every age under the sun should come? Newborn babies, I don't care if you're 4 days old. Put them in the movie. 104, they're in too. We've got the whole swath, all the age ranges. It's all in. That's what Daniel just did for us. Stefan Ellison. Why did none of these film people have an actual picture? Look, every time I click on one of these people, it's a cartoon. It's like the best possible version of the person. Why don't you show me what you look like, Stefan? Stop hiding behind an avatar or some made-up shit. Look at me. I'm here on the channel wearing the craziest football kit you've probably ever seen. I mean, this thing is as colorful as it gets. This is from the middle of nowhere, Mexico. Abrijes Oaxaca. I think that's how you say it. Oaxaca. That's how we roll. Stefan, Inside Out 2 is more than a worthy sequel, properly developing Riley and showing the impact of her new emotions while also incorporating plenty of clever visual jokes. A bit making fun of preschool shows was my favorite. There's another. Let's keep going here. Aisha. Inside Out 2 is a delight, a beautiful emotional continuation. Riley's life into her teen years. It's filled with continuous humor while holding its huge heart from beginning to end. It holds its huge heart from beginning to end. Maya Hawke's Anxiety. We're noticing something here, right? Here's your, remember we talked about extracting an element. Here it is. Maya Hawke's Anxiety is an absolute standout, a powerful must watch again, guys, for all ages. All ages. If you know someone you think is too old or too young, no. Aisha and whoever the fuck was before this just said, you need to bring them because this is for everybody. Again, brand new baby, bring them in. I don't care if it's screaming, it's for them. Don't be quiet because it's a movie for all ages, including 24 hours old. If there's another one that says for all ages, then we know that was a talking point. It's a little suspect, right? Like, why are you saying that? That's a little strange. FICO, who is a Critics' Choice member. I used to be in Critics' Choice, and that organization is so fucking corrupt. I mean, it's just a joke. Critics' Choice is an embarrassment. They're a stain on Hollywood. That's why I don't want any part of that shit again. But here's FICO. Inside Out 2 is Pixar at its finest, a much-needed, entertaining family comedy that's intelligent, funny, and heartwarming. Not only is it up to par with the outstanding 2015 original, by the way, 9 years. That's a long time, right? We just saw that with Furiosa. 9 years after the last installment. That can hurt it. So we'll talk about box office here in a minute. Let's get to some more. We're looking for anything that's like not great. I don't think we're going to find it, but it's also one of Pixar's best sequels ever. The must-see movie of the summer for the whole family. So this one, FICO says it's not for all ages. It's just for the family. So if your family is, let's say, 8 to 48, that's okay. I guess that could be any, a family could be, again, a 24-hour-old baby all the way up to the 104-year-old grandma, right? Just about ready to kick the bucket. They're all good. So it's the whole family, all ages. Every human being is welcome inside of Inside Out 2. Let's see what else we have. Jazz. I like Jazz. Jazz, I talk to Jazz. I see Jazz from time to time here in LA. She works for Variety. I'm not going to say I fully trust Jazz. Jazz, if you're watching this, I'm going to tell you why. Because I've never seen you hammer a film. That's the standard we're looking for. We're looking for someone who has the balls, and I'm not saying here, Jazz, but I'm saying in general, has the balls, and in this case, you're a woman, so that's not accurate. You have the guts to come out and say, this movie sucked donkey dicks. I hated it. And it's the worst thing I've ever seen. Go back and look at my reaction to Babylon, which instantly I received emails from Paramount going, what are you doing? You need to take down your stream. This is terrible. So is the movie. So, that's all I'm asking for. But they don't do that. The people don't do it because when you work for Variety, you work for THR, you work for Deadline, The Wrap, whatever okay, you have to play game and play nice with these studios because remember, these studios are advertising with your publication, and the stars are not going to be happy if you, the director, trashes your film. I told you guys, A24, they're like, oh, that asshole Weber, he just said Beau is Afraid's the worst movie ever made. Well, it is. It's really close to it. That's just the reality of it. But then I turn around and say, oh my God, the next film, Maxine, can't wait to see it. That's just the way it goes. I hope you find somebody who can do that like I can, because there's very few can. I mean, how many? I talked 4 approved critics, 4. It heralds Pixar back to top form. Everything from animation to story and the introduction of anxiety, envy, and embarrassment make this one of the best sequels in ages. The best sequel since Furiosa. I mean, right? That would be funny. Isn't that like 3 weeks? Doesn't matter. It's the best sequel since Furiosa. That's what I'm going to say when I come out of this movie on Thursday. We'll do another stream with my reactions. None of this powder puff shit. We're going to get real on this film coming up on Thursday night, filled with great laughs, plenty of Easter eggs, and lots of emotion. This is animated perfection. There we go. There's your pull quote. So here comes Disney Pixar. They're going to go in there and grab animated perfection, throw it up there, and slap Jazz's name on it. That's how it works here. Look, here's more gifts and swag bags. There's an anxiety bag. I feel so left out. I wish I had one of those. Says the guy who is going to do the rest of the stream in his Poor Things glasses. One of the worst. Oh my God, what an abomination. I hate this film. But I'm just going to finish up the stream wearing my because I want to show you that I have swag too. I want to be as out front, as open as possible as I do this, and just not hide my allegiances on anything. So I got glasses from Poor Things, but I still destroyed the film. So that's beautiful, right? No one does that. Okay, here's Tom Percival. Inside Out 2, more like Inside Outrageously Delightful. Tom Percival, you're so clever. In all seriousness, I felt some anxiety about this one, but it's a real joy and sadness and fear and anger, disgust, and the rest. And here he is. Welcome to a special screening. Here's the thing. Here's a DJ. There's a booth. There I am hanging out with my girlfriend. So that's what happened. Listen, they get buttered up. They go to these things and they're like, look, I'm at the party and look who's there. There's the star and there's the director. I've done that shit. Who gives a fuck? If you want to do that, go for it, but don't get caught up in the moment. These are human beings. Everyone in Hollywood, hell, a lot of them are more flawed than you could ever imagine. Don't worship these people. Don't worship anyone else. Just worry about, being the best you. My God, that was terrible. But just forgive me for that. Katie Smith Wong, tonight's screening. Let's see, does she have a reaction? No. Here's Aaron Eclarinol from The Direct, which I believe is that a Marvel thing? Oh, God. Another Marvel Star Wars publication. What do you do all day? We talk about Marvel and Star Wars shit. Someone grab me a Glock so I can take myself out. I'm not going to. I talk about that. How do these people do that shit? Let's talk about this really inside baseball Marvel shit for 2 hours. What? But Aaron, I'm sure, enjoys that. Inside Out 2 is wildly entertaining, heartfelt, and resonates across all ages. The sequel embraces the complexities of Riley's emotions, showcasing a journey, trying to read this fastball, and makes the viewers reflect about growing up. A worthy animated delight. A worthy animated delight. A worthy what? Just a worthy something? It's a worthy animated delight. Okay. Martin at Through the Silver Screen. Again, how many movie accounts are out there? How many Can we do a count of how many podcasts there are? Listen, I'm not telling you there aren't a million other YouTube movie channels. I'm just telling you nobody does live like this. Nobody. Because they usually have two other people. Oh, I don't know what to say now. Let's turn to this person. And then let's go to that person because I don't know what to. No. This shit's solo. We don't need anybody else. I don't need anybody but tweets and your comments, which I'm not even going to get to because I'm reading tweets. Martin says, Inside Out's one of my favorite Pixar films. It gives me immense joy to report this sequel is worthy companion to its predecessor. It provides a hilarious and heartfelt look at its chaotic emotions as we enter our teenage years. Anxiety steals the show. Again, there's anxiety. Listen, Martin, it's not that I doubt you. The problem is he used IT apostrophe S versus ITS without the apostrophe, and that alone pretty much nullifies it. Would you guys just, right? I mean, you can't do that kind of shit. You just can't make that. Honest to God, that's like the one mistake. I can make a lot of mistakes. If I use the wrong I will literally delete the tweet. Could be the best tweet. Not shit. Fucking no apostrophe. Maya Hawk, there she is. Let's see a few more. Nate plays games at Geek Centric. Inside Out's pure joy and natural continuation of the original as Riley grows up and explores life with new emotions, both incredibly personal and universally relatable. It expands its inventive and hilarious ways. The new emotions add so much depth and anxiety. Anxiety's okay, anxiety. One more time, and then we'll go some comments. I mean, it's the same thing over and over. There's I believe one of our first people that commented, there they are. See, they get look, you get a bag. Look at me. I'm hanging out with the people. Aren't I cool? Oh my God. I would like to say I miss going to these things, but that'd be a fucking lie. I don't want to go to these things. I don't want to hang out with these people. I told you that story. When I walk into a critic screening, a lot of times I look around and I go, good God, when's the last time anyone in here got laid? Fuck. Like ever? There's a bunch of, literally, it's like incel heaven. Oh my God. I'm sorry. It's just what it is, man. It's what we do here. Says the guy wearing the craziest football kit ever. Here's the reality is that I wanted to pick something very colorful for today, wherever you are. It might be night. And today, this was the one. I'm going to wear the other version of this kit on Thursday when we do the stream. Oh, no, wait, Steve, I'll do this. I'll do the super chat. We got to go back to Inside Out. Bad Boys 4 off the chain. I loved it. Bad Boys, one of the worst movies ever. Bad Boys 2. I don't hate it. Looking forward to Inside Out 2. I haven't cried in a while. Fingers crossed. MMT rocks. Thank you so much. Appreciate it, Steve. Listen, we get a little bit, rough here. It is what it is. That's what the channel is. It's live. I don't know what to tell you. I just want to meet anxiety. Well, don't we all have a little bit in us? I thought it was Awkwafina who voiced this at first, right? Awkwafina voices quite literally every animated film. She's got to be animated. She's got to be voicing something here. I don't know who. It's got to be, even if it's just one line. She's like the animated voice queen. So Maya Hawke is now the up-and-coming Hollywood starlet. So here she is, apparently slaying anxiety here. I need the anxiety bag. Listen, at the end of the day, if I got it, I'd give it to you. I get these things. I'm taking these off. You could have the Poor Things glasses. They don't really mean much to me. You know what means a lot to me before we get into the box office? This is what means a lot to me. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't want to get too excited here. I don't want you guys to get too excited, but look what we have. We've got an MMT coffee mug. And pretty soon we are going to sell these for $49.99. Can you imagine? How much do you want? $49.99 for the mug. What? Okay, T-shirt will be $49.99 whenever we get around to those. But we do have a coffee mug. Okay, my thoughts on the original film, man, listen, I'll tell you what, it's been 9 years since I saw it. So to ask me what I think about the film, I love the film. I think it's one of Pixar's best. I am going to rewatch it either tonight or tomorrow before Thursday, which is when I will get a chance to see this film. So I will be able to go, I think that was helpful when I watched Fury Road that way and then saw Furiosa. So you have an idea. By the way, I'm like the only person who said Furiosa, for me, worked better than Fury Road because it's got more layers. It's more complex than just the simple chase. I understand. I'm alone. So be it. That's how it always goes here. I'm not afraid to step out and take the bullets. I have many, many times. All right, let's go into box office here, and we'll talk. Remember this. The last Inside Out. You're talking about what's going to do with the box office. Look at this right now. You're looking at a film that made $857.6 million worldwide back in 2015. So 9 years ago, this film came into the marketplace and absolutely slayed. Now, there's a lot of differences between the market today and 2015. I think one of the big ones that's going to be a test this weekend, without question, is going to be, is the general public okay with Disney? And as I say that to you, I want to point out why I'm saying that. Because when you look at, let's go look at Wish. Wish lost them $131 million. Nobody wanted to see Wish. Wasn't a great film. But I think there's definitely a segment of the population. You look at the anti-woke channels out there. What do? Blast Disney 24/7, whether it's the Star Wars series, Marvel, or just general Disney stuff, because it's too woke. So the general public, I don't care. I've talked about this. It doesn't mean anything to me. I will go see anything and then decide if it's, quote, woke or not. And I don't even call it that. I call it, is it forced diversity, right? Is it organic with the film? Does it fit? Or does it feel like we have to put this character in and this character in? And that's where the problem comes in. So it's not necessarily that it's woke. It's, is it forced? Does it feel like it's inauthentic and artificially inserted into the film? So that's a case-by-case basis. But a lot of people don't love Disney, okay? It's the reality. It's not the same Disney back in 2015. You know, you look back at Disney over the past several years, you're talking about PR nightmare with the shows they have, with all the, quote, woke shit, whatever you want to call it. There's a segment of the population that is not thrilled with Disney. So when you look at the tracking here, you have a wide range. You've got this gigantic range of 70 to 100. I think, look at Dune 2 at 82.5. If this film does anything over that, once it gets past 82.5, it'll get the biggest debut of 2024. I think it can happen. I mean, listen, it really just depends on what I talked about. Are audiences okay with going to see a Disney film? And then I can go back and I can show you Elemental's box office. And look, that's a film that opened at $29 million and then ended up grossing $496. You talk about a multiple, right? You have the opening weekend, typically a 3 multiple, 4, 5 would be good. This is like, what is that? A $30 million in the multiple? This is worldwide. Okay. So the domestic multiple was 30, what is that? 20, 5 times 5x multiple. So that's a huge multiple, and worldwide almost 500 million. So I think that, and that's not a good film. Let's make sure one thing is clear. Elemental is not one of Pixar's finest films. Elemental doesn't have a funny joke in it. It's the voices aren't good, the jokes aren't solid, the film is lame. The idea's good, the execution's not, right? So I hope that in this case, we at least have talented writers who came in and did something. Elemental is one of those underwhelming Pixar films. One of the reasons this film did so well, you look at Elemental at almost 500 million. What did Disney do? They left it in theaters for a long time. They did not put it on Disney Plus. Here you've got a very solid situation for theaters because you have Disney putting a 100-day theatrical window on Inside Out 2. As such, that means you cannot see it on Disney Plus for 3.5 months. That's a long time. If you want to see this movie, you're going to probably, now that you have to wait until almost October to see it, you're probably going to go see it in a theater. We need more studios to do that. So even if you hate Disney, even if you're the most anti-woke rager in the planet, you still need to applaud Disney giving this film a 100-day window. That's the beauty of MMT. We don't get tied down to we're the anti-woke channel, so I can't say Disney did something good in putting a 100-day window on this. You see, that's why Forever will be the most objective, by far, not even a contest, most objective film channel in the universe, because everybody else either has an agenda, they're untalented, they're shills, whatever it is. We don't have any of those things. We have everything covered. We're good. We're good, man. We're good. All right, let's go to Toy Story 4. By the way, look at that, $1 billion back in. That's, again, not a great film, not as good as 3, right? So look at that, $1 billion worldwide. So 2019 versus now. Remember, we've talked about this over and over. Just go a little bit longer here, like 30-minute stream. It's not going to go an hour today. Okay? Get in if you want to get in. quick comments and we're going to get out of here, is very important to note. People are hurting. Economy sucks for most people, and free money, just spending, right? I've got my extra cash I can burn on a film. Not as much as we had back in 2019. Not being political, saying, well, that was when Trump was president, and now it's Biden. I'm not going to do that shit. I'm just going to tell you the difference between 2024 and 2019, regardless of COVID, whatever, is that people had a lot more money to blow back in 2019. The economy was better. Everything was cheaper. Now you've got inflation. You've got people that are not making nearly as much, given how much everything costs, right? The salaries stayed basically the same, and then everything went up 33%. I told you guys, my favorite drink that I drink right here, right? My Walmart seltzer. I love this stuff. $2.88 pre-COVID, $4.50 post. So that is, what is that? Almost 50% up. So that's just an example of everything that I buy that went up. So families don't have as much money. So they might not go to the movie. So if you see that happen this weekend, that could be the case. I think, though, because it is a sequel to a beloved film, then you may just get some people that would normally say, I don't know about this. I think I'll go. The reviews are going to be big. Obviously, these are the first reactions. There's nothing really to glean except we knew they'd be positive. I'm sure the film is fine. I don't expect to come out of Inside Out 2 on Thursday and say, this film sucks. This film is not a worthy successor. This film doesn't work. It's what a shame. No, I don't expect to say that. But if the word of mouth isn't quite as strong as these first critics because they got their bags and they got to hang out and they got to have a mocktail, then maybe that's a problem, right? A few more comments and we'll get out of here. Thanks for being here, by the way. We're going to just post, I think, from time to time, the Twitter live, and then we'll go bang right back over to YouTube. So if you don't see us on Twitter and we're doing something live, that's where we are, is on YouTube. And I think what I like about YouTube is that we can get the comments in. If you're here, you can get in there and do it, and it's just easy to do that. Versus Twitter, you're just watching, you can't comment. You comment on the thread, but I'm not going to see it. MMT's doing a review action of Kinds of Kindness. Yeah, at some point. And Maxine, for sure. That's going to be on the 3rd of July. Just got tickets. By the way, early access Maxine tickets went on sale today. Go get them if you're in a city that has it. July 3rd. Opens on the 5th. I believe they'll do some Thursday screenings too, though. But if you want to see it first, I can't wait for Maxine. Guys, you guys know X was one of my favorite films of that year. 2021, 2022. 22, right? And then, of course, Pearl. But I like X that much more. And of course, this is just a continuation of X. And it's set in LA, down the street from me. And it's also has the Night Stalker, so it's got a reality angle to it. And it's got Hollywood inside shit. Hello, welcome to this wonderful city that at times can be great, other times can be hell when you walk around and see the shit that's happening in Hollywood. Actually, Hollywood was probably safer back in 1985 than it is now, which is crazy. I mean, it's bad. Hollywood's bad. Like, where Disney had the premiere last night, it's fine because they have security and stuff. But I'm telling you, even walking around on the stars and all that shit, there's tons of weirdos. Like, it's not good. Probably won't see this. First Inside Out was good, like most Pixar films. It didn't need a sequel. No, listen, at the end of the day, bass player is, it doesn't matter if it needed one. If it makes money, they're going to make it. We didn't need another Bad Boys. Look what's happening. And we're going to get a 5th. We don't need another Jurassic World. Oh, shit, no. We're going to get another. We didn't need another Apes film. What'd we get? We definitely don't need another Avatar. Fuck me. That movie, I can't believe you guys like that shit. That shit's boring. That's such a lame film. Go see something good. Watch something that is cinematic, that is true cinema. Go see the film we raved about back on Sunday night. It's in a few theaters. You can see it now, called Handling the Undead. It's a neon film. It's dark as hell. It's depressing, but it's cinema, and it's everything we love. But yes, of course, I'll be excited to see Inside Out 2 for the theaters. You know, they want to make some money. Thank you, Gone Girl. I didn't need you for producing today. And he's not saying this because he's producing the show. He's actually saying this. All right, a couple more minutes. We're out of here. Couple more comments. Let's see. Anything else I wanted to get to? Oh, I want to show you this. The no Rotten Tomatoes score yet because the embargo, I believe, lifts tomorrow. So all the reviews will start piling in tomorrow. These are just the first reactions out of theater. And then we'll talk about the tomato meter and all that shit on Thursday when I see this film. We'll do a stream probably at 8 o'clock here in LA. So much later than you're watching right now. But I wanted to come on here now. I see the reactions and talk about it. I'm excited. You know, listen, you have to be excited for this film because of the fact that theaters need help, right? We just saw Bad Boys 4 inject some life into theatrical. And I hope that this weekend this film does the same. And I think that we're going to be looking at, we'll talk about it on Thursday. I think we're looking at least 80. Will it get between 80 and 90? Can it push beyond that? It's really going to depend on how great it is. First review is always hard to read. I need to see the film. We'll talk about it on Thursday because, at the end of the day, when we give it, ladies and gentlemen, the MMT seal of approval, the shit's done. You don't need to listen to anybody else. It's over. By the way, the stream's over too. I'll see you Thursday night. Peace out. Live from LA. It's over.